Hello and welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me live and, of course, on the replay. Wherever you may be catching this, let me know you're here so that I can send you some love and, of course, answer any questions that you might have. My name is Cindy. I am a quantum numerologist and wealth activator, and I work within an organization that is passionate about the reclaiming of personal power, understanding your own prosperity, your own purpose, and the possibilities that are available to you are the keys to what we offer to the world. And we're so excited that you're here. And I'm excited to dive into a forecast for September. So just like we can predict the weather, so too can we predict the energetic influences that we will be experiencing, what I like to consider the conscious weather. And so as a collective, as humanity, we're all experiencing different energies together because we are all one. And we all experience those energies differently as individuals. So September 2021 is a five energy month, the first 5 energy month of 2021, which has been a 5 energy year. So what's happening here is that 2021 is the peak of energy of September is the peak of energy of 2021. So we're really getting to the point of what 2021 has all been about. And so we're going to start to see the intensity and the amplification of this year happening in September. Now, we're already starting to see this for the last week or so. This has been unfolding. Many of our clients have been messaging me, trying to figure out what's going on. There's a lot of energetic weather right now, and that's okay. First and foremost, there is nothing wrong. This is all divinely timed. This is all meant to be, and this is all for the evolution of humanity. So however you experience September, however you choose to experience what's happening in the world is for the evolution. Nothing is breaking, nothing is broken. This is all meant to be. So I've got some notes because I've got some important dates for September. So let's dive right in. September is an explosion of emotion. The 5 wants freedom above and beyond anything else. And all of that desire for freedom is coming to a head, which means that all of the control structures are coming into entropy. Now, if you've followed me before, you've heard me talk about entropy and evolution. Entropy does not require our attention. Once something goes into entropy, it simply falls apart. It does not need us to fight against or protest against or yell and scream or even write heated letters. It doesn't require anything. What is required of us is that we focus on what we want, focus on where we're going, focus on what we are creating. We are creators. The human body, the human being has the ability to create anything. The only thing that gets in the way of that is some of the mind stuff, the patterning. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Just because you've got patterns, everybody has patterns, doesn't mean that you can't create. Every single human on the planet is a creator. We are always creating our own reality, and we're always perceiving our own reality. We do both simultaneously. So if you don't like what you see, then don't focus on creating more of that by fighting, protesting, getting angry. It's okay to get angry, but shift that energy into what would I rather experience? What would I choose differently? How would I rather feel? And lean into that, because September is going to have some intense energy swings. There's going to be a lot bubbling to the surface. The illusion is being lifted. Now, in that, problems are going to look a lot bigger than they are. Mainstream media is pumping out fear like it's the end of days because the control structures are trying to hold on. They don't want the evolution to occur, but baby, it is here, whether they like it or not. So focus on what you're creating. Always, always, always. Truth is being revealed left, right, and center, and it is becoming very difficult to deny. All you have to do is watch the news for 30 seconds, and that is true. You can see that to be true. Nothing makes sense. They're fear-mongering. They're doing all these things to try to hold on. Nothing you need to do about that. Don't fight about it. Don't argue about it. Don't just walk away. Go the other direction. What do you want? Really focus on that. This clearing that's occurring is perfect. It's perfectly on time. It is designed to happen. It's for the dream of unity consciousness, the dream of all of us living in harmony, of everything shifting so that we don't have to live in the bullshit of the lie and the illusion anymore. Science is making it very, very clear that the physical reality that you perceive with your naked eye isn't fucking real. Now, I know that's hard to wrap the mind around because when you look around, you see things, you can touch things, you can feel things, and it feels real. It's an illusion. It's a video game. And we are going to start recognizing that in September. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're like, this chick's crazy, reach out to me. Come and talk to me. I teach a course called Mastering the Brain Game. We teach a course called Mind Shift. All of these programs will teach you the science and help you shift the mind and the pattern behind it so that you can step into what's actually real, which is that 99.9999999% of everything in this universe is possibility. Period. So lean into the possibility. Every time the mind checks in with a pattern of, oh, this sucks, we're being locked down again, the politicians are doing this and the healthcare system's doing that and the educational system's doing that, remember who you are. And that you are 99.99999% possibility. So what's possible? Limitless possibilities available to us right here, right now, if we open our mind and become curious to it. So get curious. All right, so important dates to remember. September 6th, we have a new moon in Virgo on a 2 energy day. This new moon is really about laying all your cards on the table. The illusion is lifting, so you're going to notice the illusion that your own mind has created in that. And you're going to see what's working and what's not. You're going to see all the things that are like in your business or in your life. You're like, wow, that's really not working out for me right now. So just notice that without judgment. Be very, very kind to yourself. This isn't about degrading yourself. This isn't about beating yourself up. We have a tendency to do that. That's patterning. That's just the mind. Bring it back to your heart. Remember who you are. Be honest with yourself. But instead of degrading yourself and beating the shit out of yourself, instead focus on improvement. Focus on, that's not really working, but I do understand that I'm a human and that I have a choice and I can shift my perspective and I can lean into possibility and I can make that better. Not perfect, better. And just lean into that. In this new moon, watch out for perfectionism, judgment, comparison. They're doing it better than me. They're doing it better than me. Oh my God, I don't have the pretty graphics and the pretty PDF and the pretty website. And so I must be doing it all wrong. Stop it. Focus on what you want. I want impact, period. I don't need a pretty website and a pretty PDF or a pretty face to make that happen. All I need is the desire to create impact, and therefore I create impact, period. You can run an online business with 3 things: a PayPal button, a way to book calls, and a way to communicate. That's it. A way to get paid. That's also another thing. But it's really simple. So we don't need to lean into the comparison, the judgment, the perfectionism. Watch for that energy during this new moon in Virgo because it will show up. And if it's showing up to show you what's possible. It isn't showing up to say, oh, you're doing it wrong. It's showing up to say, lean this way, come this way. What if this is possible? So get really curious and lean into that. Focus on your relationship with your higher self, however you choose to do that. Time in nature, meditation, DoTheQuE, brain gaming, all of these tools are there to support you. If you don't know what any of these are, reach out to me. I'm happy to connect you. And reconnect with your values. Anybody who's a student of mine knows their top 3 values inside, upside down, and backwards. If you don't know what your top 3 values are, you are not valuing yourself and you are compromising yourself time and time again. Know what's most important to you and make decisions in alignment with that, and you'll be just fine. All right. September 20th, we've got a full moon in Pisces. And here is where we dive into the watery depths of emotions. Pisces in a 7 energy day, full moon, there is a massive release of grief happening on the planet at this time. This is a time for us to lean forward into the evolution and to make a decision. So it's likely to be very emotional. It's likely to be that we're going to have some wild dreams. Pisces, and I'm a Pisces, so I understand what it is. Pisces energy is dreamy, watery, mysterious. You have no idea what's going on under the surface. And so just be mindful of that. Be mindful of the inner critic. Be mindful of anything that you're looking at outside of yourself and bring it back to love. That is all that is needed to lean into this evolution. That is it. Love, love, love. Love has the answer to all things. When you bring your mind's awareness into the heart and you activate the emotion and the feeling and the frequency of love, you cannot help but be able to make a decision that is in alignment with your values, that is in alignment with your vision, and that is of service to humanity. So every time, and sometimes you might have to do this 50 times a day, bring it back to love. If you don't have a Post-it note in your house somewhere that says that, do it now. I'll just pause and wait. No, I'm just kidding. Get a Post-it note, put them all over your house, bring it back to love, bring it back to love, bring it back to love, over and over and over again. We are reprogramming humanity's mind from fear to love. And it takes visual reminders, it takes audio reminders, it takes connection, community, reminding over and over and over again until we rebuild those neuron pathways. So focus on love, bring it back. This full moon is all about unconditional love and acceptance for all of humanity. If we're ever going to get to unity consciousness, which we are leaning into, I can feel it. There's so many of our community that feel unity conscious on a regular basis. When we're going to get there where all of humanity feels it, we're going to have to love it all unconditionally. The fear, the control, the war, the lockdowns, bring it back to love every single time. Seems so simple, doesn't it? So simple that it's too simple. And Cindy, you must be crazy. It works for me and it works for hundreds of our students. So bring it back to love. All right, one last important date, August 28th, we move into September 28th, we move into Mercury Retrograde. So in this current time, and I like to use the example, when someone is in a car accident and then they return to the scene of the accident a year later, there is a mental patterning that occurs. There's a memory that can bring that trauma back. Now, some call this PTSD. There's different labels for this, but it brings the trauma, the memory of that trauma back into the mind, which can create physical symptoms in the body. So what's happening collectively is that everything that's happening in our solar system right now is bringing humanity back to a collective trauma. So the mind of humanity is going a little wild right now. And the body of humanity is going a little wild right now. So compassion, kindness, love, more love, please. Bring it back to love. If I haven't got that theme across yet, please go listen to the replay again and again and again, because it's all about the love here. We need to bring it back to love every single time, because Mercury retrograde is a highly mental time. We're going to be caught up in the patterning. We're going to be caught up in the mental processing. If you're watching the news, if you're someone who is constantly watching the news or scrolling Facebook, that's going to be inundating you with more and more and more information. So the more we bring the mind into the heart and remember unconditional love, bring that frequency into your body and remember what it feels like to love, period. The way I do this, I remember my little dog Diablo. And the moment that I think of his name, the moment I remember, the body remembers snuggling with him, my whole body just flows love. It's that simple. Bring it back to that every time. So September is a peak of energy. We're going to be experiencing the emotions, but this is bringing us to freedom and possibility and whatever we want. This is about the evolution of humanity, of us all stepping into what's possible. Joy Kingsborough this morning on her message talked about the butterfly and us flying free. And there are going to be caterpillars that don't want us to fly. There are going to be caterpillars that don't want to fly. And that's okay. The more and more of us that choose to fly, that choose to rise out of the cocoon and become the butterfly, the more that we can lean in to the evolution and land into unity consciousness. So rise, my loves, rise. This is our time, and it is time for us to fly. I hope you have an incredible, incredible month. Of course, I will be coming back for my weekly Rebel Reports, energy forecast for the week ahead, as well as a new moon and full moon forecast when we get closer to that energy. So follow me, follow Joy Kingsborough. And if you have any questions about anything that I'm talking about, please don't hesitate to reach out. And of course, join us for Brain Game Live, our 3-day event happening September 10th, 11th, and 12th that would help you to land into this information just a little bit more, and to step into a community of people who live and breathe this work. I hope you have an incredible month. I love you. I believe in you, and I see your power.